Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
They say that the pen is mightier than the sword, but what about a digital pen? I've seen these types of products for a few years, never really took a step to integrate it within my regular routine, namely because there'd always be some kind of snag. And when I started to use both Mac OS 10 and Windows, well, then suddenly I had to be really careful about any kind of hardware that I brought into the house. I had to make sure that it was compatible with either operating system, just for that good degree of flexibility. I mean, it's important for me. So the other day I learned that LiveScribe, LiveScribe, is going to be releasing drivers and software, management software, for the LiveScribe Pulse Pen for Mac OS 10 here in, well, just a few days. It's not out right now, but that didn't mean that I was going to keep myself from going out to the store and buying a 2 gig Pulse Smart Pen. I've always wanted one, and I figured now is the time. I probably know a few people who already have this. They've never really told me about it, but some people out there have got to be using one of these. If not this, then potentially some other kind of smart pen. And I set it up. I first tried to install it on my HP Touch Smart PC that is running Windows Vista 64-bit, and 64-bit drivers are not yet available for the smart pen, the Pulse smart pen. So I ended up connecting this through VMware Fusion, a virtual machine running Windows XP here on this computer, and updated the firmware after running into a couple of errors trying to get it set up, running through the basic, I guess, sheets inside the notebook that the pen came with. There's kind of a tutorial. It steps you through 1, 2, 3 and shows you what you can do and how you can do things. Hit a couple of errors, updated the firmware, everything was fine at that point, but then just found general quirkiness in using it. Like, I know what I was doing was right, but it just wasn't registering properly. And then when I synced it back with the Windows machine, it was not recognizing the sessions that I recorded, even though I could hear the sessions that I recorded on the pen. So I got off to an extremely rough start. Just be forewarned. Extremely rough start. I don't know how mature the firmware is, but they need to keep working on it. And hopefully they will keep working on it, considering that a lot of people are probably going to be buying these things now that it's available to be used or accessed through either Mac OS 10 or Windows. And once it started working, ask everybody here in the chat room who is watching, I was really impressed. It's pretty darn cool. I can draw a piano and then play it. I can draw words and then translate them. I can draw, or I can write sentences and words, and then press those words, or tap those words, and then it will play them back if I made an audible sound while I was recording it. It also comes with what they call a 3D set of headphones. I got the stereo experience when listening to them. Or listening to playback, but I wasn't quite feeling the whole 3D thing. That seems to me like more of a marketing gimmick. But it does work. I mean, certainly if I wanted to listen to playback, I could plug it in. So, essentially, you have to buy paper or notebooks that have specifically been designed for use with the Pulse Smart Pen for a variety of reasons. And once you start using it, it gets easier. In fact, setting the date and time was exceedingly simple. Nothing you really press directly on the pen itself other than the power button. All your controls are essentially at the bottom of any one of the given sheets of paper. Sorry, I'm trying to angle it right. Or you could draw your own if you want to. There's also stickers that you can place on paper or anywhere. There's navigation happens here. In fact, I was looking for a volume control on the pen. I was like, where is it? Where? In Wicket. Hi, Wicket. Do you want to play with the pen? You don't have opposable thumbs. Can't help you. I was looking for the volume control, and it's not here. Well, then I looked on the paper, and the volume control was here. And so I just tap either up. The hell was that? I tried to keep you up here. Up or... Oh, he heard me say up. Sorry, I was talking to the pen. Or down. We'll turn it up. And so I've got that done. I'm going to record on. Okay, let's do it. Well, I've got a bit of stuff on this paper already, including a piano that I drew, some words that I wanted translated, and some sentences as well. I'm going to draw. Give me a word in the chat room, and I'll write Wicket. Okay. So I haven't written that yet, so I'm going to press the record or tap the record icon on the paper. Wicket. Pressing stop. So now I've recorded, stopped it, and I'm going to tap it. So I tapped it in the middle of the word, so it played it back halfway through.
Wicket.
Here's other words that I wrote.
Bowling.
And I can change the playback speed because I've written a sentence, but I increased the playback speed because the sentence that I wrote, I was saying the words as I was writing them out, so it takes me a while to write.
Eating popcorn isn't good for you, but I do it anyway because I like it.
So when I synchronize the pin back with the computer, it takes those sessions and throws them into indexable data files. So I can search for words. I can play those, the same audio recordings that I had here. I've got it synchronized here on the computer as well.
Eating popcorn
Not sure if you can hear that,
isn't good
but it is playing back.
you, but
And as it's playing those words back, it's actually highlighting the words that I was saying or writing at the time. It's just, yeah, it is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and there's no way I'm going to write that stuff out. So there are other things that you can do with the Pulse Smart Pen other than, writing notes and then synchronizing notes in audio and text and saving those documents to your computer or on your computer. As I noted, you can also create a piano, and that is fun. Again, this is a piece. This is on the paper. I drew, as it told me, drew 9 lines and then connected those lines together. So now, and I can change the instrument.
vibraphone,
Can add some rhythm.
kalimba, steel drum, fiddle,
And some of the words that I drew. It's translating right now, I believe, into Mandarin.
cafe,
So that's coffee in Mandarin.
ba,
Ba, that's 8. I don't know Mandarin. I don't.
pijo,
Picho, that's beer. And then I can go through naving back.
Mandarin, translator demo,
This is the translator demo. So I can use Spanish, Arabic, Mandarin, Swedish. Let's go to Swedish. Mandarin, Arabic, Swedish. Okay, so I'm gonna Picho was beer, and that I drew out or wrote the word beer. That apparently is beer in Swedish. Et, that's 1.
Hello,
Hello.
hello,
Hey, I'm speaking Swedish.
hello, 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 hello.
That's hello. So you can translate certain words, not all words, of course. This is just a translator demo, which is interesting because they're going to be opening up the API for the Smart Pen since their software is going to be cross-platform. It is the desktop software, and I don't know about the live or the LiveScribe Pulse Smart Pen software, the firmware on here. The desktop software is running in Java. They're going to allow developers to create their own apps that can run on the Smart Pen to create a variety of things that you can't even imagine. It's really neat too. With you could draw a calculator. You can have a calculator, and so I can go 5. If I hit 5, 55. Apparently, I hit it twice. Times 5 equals, and if you heard the pen giving feedback, is because it was actually calculating it. And so I've got the calculation of 55 times 5. It's 275. There are different templates in the LiveScribe or LiveScribe notebook that I have here, including a scientific calculator. I can get a status of the battery readout simply by tapping the battery icon on the page. I can also change the display brightness, scroll speed, the orientation, right or left-handed. It is so simple to use. Once things get going, it is relatively simple to start messing with. So yeah, despite a few snags in getting set up, I'm pretty happy with the way it works, so long as it does work. As I said, I had a few issues getting going, especially with the software and the synchronization, and simply turning off the pen and restarting it kind of solved some problems. Also ran into some error number 3, and just updating the latest firmware solved the problem as well. Is the pen heavy to write with? That's a good question. It is, if you can't tell, noticeably thicker than the average pen. I would say 3 times as thick, or if not twice as thick. 3 times as thick in terms of circumference. Not necessarily the actually putting 3 pins together would be about the same. It's bigger. That's the bottom line. But it's very lightweight. It is extremely lightweight, which would be necessary if you intend on writing with this thing. It's akin to writing with a thicker Sharpie, more than anything. I would say, in fact, probably weighs about the same. No, it's a little heavier than a Sharpie. Because of course it's a computer in here, but it's not so bad so that I would have to put it down. I mean, it's heavier, but not horrible. I don't know how much writing you plan on doing. Certainly, how much writing you would plan on doing with the Pulse Smart Pen. But I can't imagine that unless you have issues writing, you should be okay. And I guess I have average hands. It doesn't feel too big in my hand. Feels just about right. I can go and click. I believe, since it knows that it's on page 1 here, because it knows the pages. Like when I synchronize this again, it will add everything that I added here back into the scanned. I guess the scanned document as it's synchronized. I wrote my name earlier. Maybe. No, guess not. See, like I said, this is where it sometimes it kind of jams, and I'm not exactly sure why, so I'm going to reset it. Hopefully. See, I told you, it's sometimes it's kind of, it works sometimes, and then other times not really. And I did this a few minutes ago, and the only way to get her kicking again was to press the power button to give her a reset. So it's starting. Your pen has to boot up. Okay, let me try this again. Main menu. Okay, let's try this one.
Good for you, but good at sports. Wicked.
So there you go. The Pulse Smart Pen from LiveScribe. I would give it very tentative, good marks. Like I said, not perfect. Expect to play with it a little while. Honestly, I've never used any other type of device like this, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. I did spend my own money on the Pulse Smart Pen, so they did not send this to me to review. This is totally my perspective. I will have a lot of fun playing with it, certainly. Transcribing notes that I would intend on scanning anyway. Really good, I'd imagine, for meetings or classrooms or just brainstorming in general. It's worth a shot. If you wanted to have, I wouldn't say 1 out of 10. That's way too low. I'm hoping that software, firmware, and desktop software will continue to improve over time. That kind of, I would hope for that. Certainly, I'm looking forward to seeing what it's like on the Mac. Although I can't imagine it being that much different than it is on Windows, other than looking a little better in the desktop experience. For a Java app on the desktop, it doesn't look too bad. Got to give them that. I don't really know if there's anything else to say other than, yeah, I always love looking at new things like the Pulse Smart Pen. So if you know of anything else out there that I might want to take a look at, my email address is chris@pirillo.com. Drop me a line. And you're also welcome to stop by geeks.pirillo.com, which, of course, you're likely going to interface with using a keyboard, not a pen as much. Of course, you could upload images, upload videos, you know, talk in the forums. You've got your blog, your own profile, various and sundry things you can do if you're a geek, and there are 10,000 of you out there right now. A lot of geeks have certainly stopped by, and if you would like to stop by our chat room, you're more than welcome to. As I said, I was messing with this thing for, I would say, at least an hour, if not an hour and a half before recording this video, you know, giving it a good go to get my initial impressions, and everybody here was able to watch behind the scenes. 438 people. Earlier we had about 500 when they saw me playing with the Xbox. Apparently there are a lot of gamers in my audience. Not a problem. Not a problem. If you'd like to stop by the chat room, you are, as I said, more than welcome to. We're typically talking tech 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in conjunction with this live video experience at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.